this to get the best techno sound layers. That is today's video. Let's go do it right now. Hey, what's up, I'm in the kitchen, and thank you for checking out yet another video. If this is your first time here, don't hesitate to click subscribe. You'll be updated whenever I upload a new video, but that is if you click that bell icon as well. You'll be kept in the loop, you won't miss out on anything. Be sure to hang out to the end of this video. I will tell you all about Patreon and I will tell you about Discord. So techno and sound layers is a thing, you know? Today I will get into my Model D and my Minitaur, and we're talking about 5 oscillators that have to work together. I will try and tell you and show you on how that works, and yeah, let's go do it. Without further ado, let's go head over there. So to start a bit differently today, I would go into the Model D and I'll show you something on the scope first, which is something that might show you how different things work with the sounds. So first I'm going to just play around with the Model D. Now I'm playing this theme here. This theme is playing this. So you see it's a basic square. Gonna tune the oscillators. Nice, yeah. Okay, shorten the envelopes. So pretty much I'm going to set everything to a basic sort of like thing. So I'm going to open the cutoff frequency all the way. The filter emphasis goes down in the amount of contour. The filter emphasis is what the cutoff frequency is. Let me turn that down all the way. So what you will hear now, make a short envelope, because first I'd like to start with short notes. Bam, ba-dam, bam, 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 ba-dam, bam. When a beat goes like this and I got like the 1, 2, 3, 4, there's no offbeat thingies in the beat working already. What I would like to do is make a groove on my bass line, right? So what I'm going to do is bam, 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 ba-dam, bam, 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 bam. Something I would play with a snare drum. Let me play that with the bass line and record it straight in. So I'll go here, so 7, 3, 8, 8 through 3, and I go like bam, ba-dam, bam, 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 ba-dam, bam, 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 ba-dam, bam, 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 ba-dam, bam. Okay, now I've got it recorded. Nice. It's a quite simple beat, but this kind of groove, I love it. So what I like about this sound now is that it's very square, wavy. But if I will turn it down, you'll see that on the oscilloscope, it will turn into a sine wave almost. So you see now it's a sine wave. That's how this filter just works. Nice and round. And from a minute, I'm just going to start to introduce more cutoff. Look at how the wave shape changes. There you go. So it's a square wave, as you can see. Also, I'm going to stick some noise on there. That sounds like this. So that if I'm shortening this, see, this is what happened. Now you got a percussive thing going in the beat. Listen how this works with the hi-hat. Check, 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 check. Okay, first oscillator in. Now that small in-between hi-hat that you hear, chick, 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 that small in-between hi-hat is now all of some making some sort of a extra groove. Nice. Sticking the second oscillator in there. I'll go for a For a triangle wave, the first of the oscillators, turn that down as well, and lengthening the note. Turning down the noise. Let's turn the noise down to 12 o'clock. Nice. Okay, now the third oscillator, which is also going to be a square wave. I'm sticking this on 16. So the first one's on 32. The second oscillator is on 16, but then that's a different waveform, and that square wave here, same square wave as the first one, is also on the first of the three square waves, also on 16th in height. So listen to how percussive it's now going to be if I'm going to turn it down a little bit. So first, shorten it. And what I'm always trying to strive for is a bit of a percussive element in there, which is what's coming from the second oscillator, as you just saw, because this it's got the same fabric as the kick drum. Listen to the attack here. You can hear it here. So the kick is on screen as well. You see how, look how round the kick is. Just love this round kick. And the clearer this visual is going to work for you, the better it is. Now let me put a graphic equalizer on screen so you can make out better where the frequencies live. This one is living just above 50 Hertz, so you can see that that's a cool place to start if you want to have like the bottom sound. I use square waves because they've got like a lot of transients as well. I mean, you can use triangle waves, but they become too sobbing. You can see that it just goes completely down on the scope. See, it's got a little bit more texture on top of the fundamental, and that's what I want. So what I need to do now is add that second oscillator, but add the third one. Now what's the third one playing? I can use one of the square waves for this. Now this looks nice. You can see it's like a nice Mount Everest kind of sound, clear on the scope. It's a nice waveform as well. Now let's see what it works out if we how it works out if we stick everything together. Nice one. And then you see how this now the way I have arranged it is for the sound to creep up the frequency spectrum from left to right, if you will. So the more I open up the cutoff frequency, I still don't use any filter emphasis here, so there's no cutoff and there's no contour on the Model D. So those two knobs are all completely closed up on 0. But from the minute I'm going to open up, look how this comb kind of transient frequency is going to start opening up towards the widest spectrum. So you can imagine that this now fills up the club, and see where the kick drum is. If I'm going to put the kick drum, let's see how that sits. See, a lot of people are asking me, yeah, but you know what? You need to EQ and compress stuff. But you can clearly see my kick drum has its fundamental above the 100 Hertz. There is sub, but the sub is not moving in time, as you can see. You know, the sub is coming later, which is normal. So first you get the attack, and then you get like the woo, 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 which is hitting you in the gut. And then if we add the bass line to it, you can clearly see like around 200 Hertz is is where you really hear it. I mean, you obviously feel it, but around 200 hertz is where you hear this bass line, which means that's where it lives. Now I would like to layer this with the Minitaur, because the Minitaur has got a different sort of like vibe to it altogether. So I've got 3 oscillators working right here. Now I'm going to see how these 2 oscillators are working. That's one. There's the other. Yeah. So again, square wave here, but it's a little rounder. Turn down the filter, and the thing is that I want those 2 sounds to gel together in a way that they are actually going to complement each other. So the first thing I want to do is first play the sequence. I'm going to go to 4 as well. 4, record it. At the end of the bar you hear that there's something going on that doesn't really gel. So let's shape the sound up a little bit, maybe shorten it. Now layer it up, because I think that the Minitaur is overpowering the Model D a little bit, and that's not what I want. So I'm going to put this on 12 o'clock as well, the volume that is. So if I'm turning off the Model D, this is what you hear now. Let me open it up a little bit more. You can hear that there's a bit of an LFO that's happening. Let's turn that off as well. And the filter will go to a point where you can still hear a little bit of resonance. Turn the resonance up to 12 o'clock. Now it starts to introduce overtones, and that's what we need to hide it in the Model D. There you go. All right, nice. What I will do now is tune one of the oscillators. This one goes here. Da, 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 da. Da, bum, 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 ba-dum, bum. Nice. It's got a bit of a bass to it. It sounds a bit like a bee or a mosquito. All right. Add the Model D. And now the trick is to play with the length, because if this overpowers this one, or the thing is to find where the sweet spot is. Here we go. And the rule of thumb is that the higher the frequency is on one of the sounds, the shorter I will put those notes, and then turn it down a little bit as well, because what you would want is that the bottom layer, which is the Model D here, that needs to just stick out a little bit more, you know? So now it's actually overlapping. On my headphone it is not very audible, but I'm thinking that I'm going to turn it down a little bit. So what you will do is turn the filter down all the way to, say, put it on 10 o'clock. And the shorter the notes are, the more percussive they're going to be. So now you can hear this is work. I can work with this. Right, nice. 1, 2, 2. See what? Nice. This is not for now, but you can imagine that this will go in a certain direction. Now you can add different things, different drums, different layers and stuff. This is my rule of thumb. Now the trick also is people don't hear if I space it out correctly, which means the release on the Minitaur is going to be a little longer. There. Now it sounds like one sound almost. Turn it down a little bit. Yeah, nice. If you turn it off, you can hear like, okay, the melody is nice, but it's a sound it's not very exciting. It's not bad, but it's not really exciting. And then the Minitaur will add to this. Nice one. Bam, bam. I'm gonna turn the drums off. Listen to this. Now you can really hear the texture of the sound. If I'm adding a TB03, stick this in between. Put a little bit of space on it. Let's open up the notes a little bit. You can see how the decay is different, because on the Model D, the decay is on, say, 9 o'clock. And on the Minitaur, it's already on 10 o'clock, but those are the same lengths here. So then you can see that envelopes do different things on different synths. Open it up a little bit. And my kick drum in. Nice. And the rest of the drums. Turn down a little bit that reverb, that delay. Now you can play around with different things, like maybe you can hear that I changed the pitch of one of the oscillators on the Model D. Open up the filter, so I can go in for a dramatic sort of like break. And the reason I'm using different wave shapes on the Model D is that the filter knob does different things in different positions. So if I'm turning it down, obviously it will be much more of a sine wave, and if I'm opening it up, you can hear that it becomes much more of a richer sort of texture. So the one sound now does a lot of things. This, when you're building a track, is very important. Kick in, here we go. Nice one. Well, pretty much that's how I set up the sound layers. This can now do a lot of stuff, because this sound, you don't need an extra sound to just do a lot of stuff. This will work on any dance floor. I mean, the dance floors I play on, it'll work, you know what I mean? So keep it down. So now let's utilize the filter and see if when we open it up, what happens. Which one is going to scream first? I'm going to leave the Roland where it is, yeah? So let's leave the TB03 and then open this up. See how the Minitaur is trying to just take over? I don't like the resonance on it though, you know? Envelope generation amount, so I really love it. So in terms of what the filter does on the envelope, I mean, the attack is completely sort of like down, and then got the decay release also open up, and also the sustain is also down on the envelope, which is cool. So in that case, the filter is where you can dial in your frequency, but the length is where you really make an impact. Wow. And what I like about it is that the Model D's got a completely different attitude, it's completely different resonance to the Minitaur. So those two really work together. Now try and listen very carefully on what does what. Don't turn up the volume too loud, because you won't hear anything anymore. Because now, if you really focus, you can tell them apart. You can hear this one. You can hear this one. And you can hear this one. All different sounds in their own right, but try this. Just try this at home. And see if you can get sounds to sound like one sound, maybe. Nice. Yeah, I'm liking this. Adam Stannett, Mark F and AJD are new patrons, and they follow me on patreon.com/analogkitchen. Patreon is connected to Discord. Discord is where the whole community comes together, and we actually talk about synth stuff, about modular stuff, about getting certain things going. There's a new thing. I'm actually making a deal with a case manufacturer, so we're going to make custom cases for people that want to get their equipment on a fly case. I will tell you all about that soon. So after this video, probably I think everybody's going to like congregate on the Discord chat, which is a cool thing. I'm also still building that mixer. I told you about that mixer. If you follow the channel, you know what I'm talking about. Be it that at the moment components are very hard to come by, so it's really doing my head in. So at the minute, it is, it's still a work in progress, but I'm trying to get parts, and that is a bit hard at the moment, but we're still working that. Then again, the highest tiers on Patreon, you get to make music with me. We release it on my label, one of my labels. The second tier down, you remix those records. It's all about a community, it's all about making music together, so let me know if that's something you're into. Also, memberships on this channel are live, so if you want to become a member, you can do that by also enlisting on this youtube.com/analogkitchen. Yeah. Hey, thanks for checking that out. Layering, it's a thing. That's the way I work it. If you've got ideas on how you want to work your sound, please let me know and leave a comment in the section below. Links to the equipment also in the fold below. Now, if not anything else, stay cool, stay safe, and I'll catch you next week on another video. Peace.